Every single time a real investment opportunity hits the market, I'm talking about a true motivated seller, a property that actually needs work, something an investor can genuinely help with. The moment it goes live on market, there are already 30 other wholesalers offering on the same exact property. I've been doing agent outreach full time since 2022. I've done it the hard way and I've done it the right way. And in this video, I'll show you exactly why in 2026, offering on listed properties is dead and how to get agents to bring you off-market deals before anyone else knows it even exists. So I'll show you exactly how to stop competing on listed properties and start getting exclusive off-market deals straight from your investor-friendly agents, how to do deals with them consistently, and I'll even walk you through a real deal I closed that ended up being a $63,000 wholesale fee. Here's what your day probably looks like right now. You open up Zillow or the MLS, you spend an hour going through properties looking for a good one, find something that could finally be a deal, run your numbers, write up an offer, call the agent, and it turns out 30 other wholesalers offering on the same property. You're doing the same thing everyone else is doing. The first person to get it under contract, they cancel. The second person, they do the exact same thing. Lock it up too high, and they just keep bidding the price up, wasting everybody's time. It's not an exclusive deal. And you might squeeze out like a $7,000 fee if you're lucky, but it's a lot of effort and that is a lot of time for just $7,000. And here's the other problem. If you're only making offers on 5 properties a day, you're only talking to 5 new agents a day. 5 agents a day is just not enough. I was doing the exact same thing when I started. This is exactly why I was motivated to actually switch up how I was doing it. So I was offered on this property from an agent. She was like a part-time agent. I'd offered on one of her listings early on. The numbers just did not work out. The deal made no sense, but I kept in touch with her anyways. I called her a couple months later just to stay on her radar, try to build a relationship. She said, and I remember this cleanly, she said, hey, I've got this seller. She just signed a listing agreement. She really needs to sell fast. She doesn't want to go on the market. She's embarrassed by how the house looks. She needs an offer. I feel like I can trust you with this. Can you help? That's what she said to me. I went and saw the property, ran my numbers, came out with an offer above what the sellers even were asking for the property, and they accepted it the same day. We ended up pulling a $63,000 fee out of that deal. On closing day, I went to do the final walkthrough and the seller was there, the agent was there. That house was a hoarder house, junk everywhere. It needed a crazy amount of work, and that seller was one of the happiest people I've ever seen. She was just like so relieved. She had to deal with no showings, no back and forth, no falling out of contract 10 times, no circus. She got to walk away clean with money in her pocket. And then the agent, she was happy because the deal was smooth and simple, and she even kept sending me deals after that. Turns out she had a whole source of sellers in similar situations, needing help, wanting out. So I had a question. How do I get more deals like that? That is what you're leaving on the table every single time you go and open Zillow to find a property to offer on. So let's talk about what actually works. When you find a true investor-friendly agent, everything changes. An investor-friendly agent, they know what a motivated seller is. They understand how investor numbers work, and they're not going to push back on your offer and make you justify every single dollar. And they can actually present your offer to the seller in a way that makes sense. And because the seller trusts their agent, they make the deal work. It's way simpler than working with a not investor-friendly agent. These are the agents who have sellers that do not want to go through the whole circus of selling publicly, dozens of showings, cancellations. The best solution for some of these sellers is literally to just sell to a trusted investor who is going to close. An investor-friendly agent understands that. They know when an investor is the right decision, and when they find one, they call the person they know, like, and trust. These off-market opportunities are going to be way less competition. You could get them locked up the same day. You can close them in under 2 weeks. You'll have fees that average between 10 to 20K instead of a small 7K fee from houses on the market. One solid investor-friendly agent relationship can produce multiple deals every single year. Do the math on how much one solid relationship can bring you. Actually, I'll walk you through it. If you get an agent that brings you 7 deals a year and each of those deals is maybe like 15K, that's $105,000 a year from one investor-friendly agent contact. That's why it has to be a volume game. Most agents are not investor friendly, and that's completely fine. You're not trying to convert every single agent. You're looking for the ones who already get it, and you cannot find them if you're only talking to 5 agents a day. So investor friendly agents, they exist in every single market, but they're a small percentage of the total. So to find them consistently, you need to be reaching hundreds of agents every single day. The wholesalers who win at this are not the best salespeople. They're literally just doing the most volume. Here's the 3 ways to reach them. Number 1, cold calling. It works, but it is one of the least efficient ways to actually do real volume. And if you hire somebody to do it, you are now in the business of recruiting, training, managing, and eventually replacing that person for output that honestly is not even that great. The next solution is mass text blasting. This works when it's done right, but you're competing with countless other wholesalers who are already sending text blasts, and you have to sometimes worry about compliance issues. Cold email is where the real opportunity is. You can reach more agents in a day than a cold caller can reach in a week, even possibly a month. It is fully compliant, and it is the only method that actually lets you build the relationship over time. Also, if you want help setting up a cold email infrastructure where we can reach out to 2,000 agents every single day for you, click the link in the description and book a call. This brings me to the most important whole part of the video. This is how to get consistent deals when you find an investor-friendly agent. Most wholesalers find an agent, they close one deal, and then they just wait and hope that that agent calls them again. You're leaving money on the table. Here's what you should actually be doing. Calls first, always. A real phone call is the most powerful thing you can do to keep an investor-friendly agent locked in and build that relationship. It is also the most manual. So when you have a lot of agents in your database, you cannot do it for every single one. But for your VIP agents, the ones who have already brought you a deal or are clearly close to it, you should be calling them personally at least once a month just to check, see what they're seeing in the market, provide value to them, and see if they have any more investment opportunities coming up. Now, along with calling your VIP agent relationships, you need to be doing these things. You should have, at a minimum, an automated SMS text message going out once a month through a system like Go High Level or something similar. Short, personal feeling, not spammy, just staying on their radar, seeing if they have anything coming up. You will get plenty of off-market leads from this, especially when you have a large database of agents. The second thing you should have going out that pretty much most wholesalers completely miss out on is this: email them. Often, at least once a week. Most wholesalers think email is dead. It's not. Agents are literally on their email every single day. What's dead is a bad email. Investor-friendly agents are getting texts from 20 wholesalers a day. They're getting calls they ignore. But if you're the person showing up in their inbox every week with something actually worth reading, with like market updates, real things you're seeing in the market, tips on how to work with investors, you become a resource instead of just another person asking for deals. Basically, on an email, you could just include way more than you can in a text. A text is basically a tap on the shoulder, and an email, you can put real value in it. And agents remember the people who actually add value to their business, not the ones who just show up asking what they have available. This right here is an example of a real nurture sequence with emails and text blasts. The whole point is pretty simple. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Your job between deals is to make sure every investor-friendly agent in your database knows who you are, they like you, and they trust that you are the real deal. So calls, texts, and weekly emails are how you do that. I know what some of you guys are thinking right now. I don't have time to set this all up on top of everything else I'm doing. This actually saves you time. That is what the automations are for. Your personal calls are reserved for VIP agents only, so most of your focus is on actually closing deals. But if you want me to build the whole system for you, the cold outreach, the follow-up sequences, all of it, link is in the description. Book a call. This is what I do. Let's talk. I reach out to 2,000 agents every single day for you. The listed properties are not where the money is at. It never was. The money is in the relationships you build with the investor-friendly agents who bring you the deals before anyone else sees them. Deals with no competition, fast closings, and fees that are 2 to 3 times what you're making fighting over listed property. The wholesalers who figure this out are the ones that actually win. Like and subscribe. But yes, other than that, hope to see you guys again. Wish you guys the most success. Let's go. Goodbye.